The Bodines had a hit song in 1993 that went, "Everybody wants to live like they want to live. Everybody wants to love like they want to love. Everybody wants to be closer to free." Now, what does this have to do with authority presence? Only this. When people sense that you're free, they'll want whatever it was that freed you. And that kind of attraction is the most powerful I can imagine. So what I want to do in this video is demonstrate how authority gives you freedom. And when we're finished, you'll be able to claim your own authority if you haven't already. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Steve Washer, and welcome to video 1 in this special series of the 1 Minute Authority. This series is all about what I've noticed in all those people I refer to as visible authorities. And in this video, I want to start with the concept of authority itself, because when you have it, everything is easy. People respond faster to your ideas and your calls to action, and they get better results because they can see for themselves that whatever worked for you could actually work for them. You can also sell at higher prices, which almost guarantees your customers will have a more successful experience with your products and services because they get more invested in the outcome, which adds to your authority. So I think it's worth claiming this quality, especially because you already have it. It's just that it may be buried under the rubble of a lifetime's worth of head trash. But when you understand where it actually comes from, you'll be able to gently coax it back up to the surface. First of all, it's important to define the kind of authority we're talking about. Authority is not about making someone do what you say they must do or else. That's not really authority, that's coercion. And a person who acts like this, who calls themselves an authority, is really just a bully. Most people dislike or even fear that kind of authority. Why? Because everybody wants to be closer to free. And the person who likes using that kind of authority only feels more free once you feel less free. No, the kind of authority that's helpful to everyone is 180 degrees different. It's an authority that radiates from within. It doesn't need any outside validation to feel whole. It doesn't act against itself, and it can't act against anyone else. So, how do you develop true authority? Well, I believe it comes from two things: attraction and practice. For example, my mother-in-law was always attracted to cake decorating. She got very, very good at it. She developed a recipe that resulted in a cake that not only looked beautiful, but tasted better than any other cake in town. Anybody in Cary, North Carolina knew that if they wanted the best wedding cake available, they had to go and ask Helene. She had more authority than caterers who did this for a living, and while she never advertised, she was free to work as much or as little as she liked. Her authority gave her tremendous control over her time and finances. She knew she had this authority, but never boasted about it. There was no need. It was there. She knew it like she knew the curvature of the earth. Now, this is important, because anyone looking at her cakes would say, "Wow, this looks like a lot of work." Yes, she would say, but it was fun. That's the thing about authority. From the outside, it looks like it's impossible to attain. But from the inside, it's just as natural as the weather and the moody sky. But here's the point. Anyone who got a cake made by Helene was more than happy to pay well for it. They wanted to be around the person who could do that. That's true authority. So part of it was developed by her fascination with cake making, and part of it was always her trying to do things a little better than before. Attraction and practice. Simple recipe, isn't it? Imagine making a video where all you do is demonstrate your expertise, simply with humility and focus and fun, where you do it from an inner knowing born of years of experience, not through boasting or false pride or insecurity, but in the spirit of service. So here's my definition of an authority: a servant who everyone acknowledges as a master. To become an acknowledged authority in this way, you first have to have that inner knowing that no one can take away from you. I still remember the exact moment I had authority at something. I'm just going to tell you this because I'm hoping it might stir something in you. I was flying my plane with an entrepreneur who was pretty comfortable pushing people around and getting his own way. even me. So comes this moment when we're about 5 miles from the airport and I'm going into what they call sterile cockpit mode. He chooses that moment to lean in and ask me 5 questions about what I'm doing. And I'm actually about to answer when I realize that putting my attention there could, get us killed. But it's not like there was any anger or frustration. I just quietly said, "Not now, Dave. I'm in landing mode." Just like that. And something about how I said it caused him to sit quietly back in his seat, smiling and saying, "I get it, thank you." And after that, it was kind of easy to transfer that feeling to business. But the effects don't happen overnight. That's why most people, instead of doing the work of uncovering their authority, look outside themselves for indicators they can use to basically trick people into thinking they are authorities. And quite frankly, that's what most of the training you can find out there is all about. Make yourself look like you're a big cheese. Dress for success. Put on a happy face. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that in and of itself, that's not very powerful. And with clients who are increasingly skeptical of claims and promises, the one who has an authority presence is the one whose messages get response, whose emails get answered, and whose proposals are accepted without haggling on price. So, getting closer to free, that's a decent goal. But the truth is, authority sets you completely free. Free of the opinions of others, free of worry, doubt, and shiny object syndrome. Once you have authority as your foundation, you can finally get off the hamster wheel, and you'll start attracting people, seemingly like magic. A few at first, and then a flood. And how exactly will you do it? Well, that's what we'll be looking at in part 2. In the meantime, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below or just email me at steve@visibleauthority.com. I always reply. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on the 1 Minute Authority.